the general, vice ministers, and the entire great family. There is an attempt to start a war in Latin America and the Caribbean. And the intention, dear brothers and sisters of the people of the United States, brothers and sisters whom we deeply admire, is once again to send back in sacks, in black bags, and in coffins, young citizens and taxpayers of American society back to their homes. And from here, we continue to call for peace, not only for the people of Venezuela. We are clear that the concept of homeland goes beyond Venezuelan borders. It is a great responsibility, and as we have said, the glories. Let no one be mistaken about Venezuela. We have been consistently witnessing persistent attempts to intimidate and threaten us, bringing forth significant challenges and considerable difficulties. The aerial vectors of the United States Armed Forces closer to our coasts. We are truly here with great and deep humility. We tell you not to make a mistake with us. We are prepared to defend this country. Prepared we are, and that will not intimidate us. Even so, we are absolutely convinced that we will absolutely not break just because you currently have an air naval military deployment in the broader Caribbean region, and we remain steadfast in this belief. Carrying out maneuvers, offensive ones, specifically those operating near the Venezuelan coast and in the Caribbean Sea. We just want to say from here, don't make a mistake because, well, we have the capacity to react and to defend our airspace. Standing firm, consistent, in perfect popular and military unity. So the people of the United States must listen to the call for peace, for understanding, to effectively resolve the critical need to settle conflicts through peaceful dialogue, through thoughtful politics, and absolutely not through destructive war. Against these harmful actions, unfortunately, supremacism has taken hold of the current administration of the United States, and they intend to bring us to our knees. Under a severe and unjust de facto siege that has been imposed upon Venezuela, commencing with a series of economic sanctions, which are not legitimate legal instruments, but rather constitute illegal and coercive measures. Sanctions that impact the economy, that affect production, that impact the health of the Venezuelan people. Under false pretenses, they attacked Syria, and so on. Recently, we have seen how it was stopped. A civilian merchant oil tanker was intercepted and subsequently detained. Here in Caribbean waters, specifically south of Grenada, Tobago, in Trinidad. There, already heading out into the Atlantic, a ship that, exercising free trade and free navigation, was carrying Venezuelan oil to other international markets. So this constitutes a flagrant violation of international law, of the United Nations Charter, a violation of the right to free navigation, a violation of free trade, various. With the Aragua train. Is the intention to close off the Caribbean to the interests of the United States? The intention is to politically dominate the states. The intention is to steal, to appropriate the hemisphere's natural resources, especially those of South America. And of course, the Bolivarian National Armed Forces are taking this into account. They are taking it into account because we, I repeat, are going to defend the concept of sovereignty. And the government of the United States must know that we are not going to surrender. What a truly grotesque and outrageous thing. That egregious act of piracy that was just recently committed in the vast Caribbean Sea, that's precisely what it is. An undeniable act of piracy. It is a crude, brazen, and utterly shameless act of theft. It is a cowardly act. an act of imposing force to seize things that do not belong to them, resources that are not theirs. We ask ourselves from here, from Venezuela, what has become of the lives of the crew members of those ships? They are private companies, but we are concerned about the lives of the crew of those ships. Where are they? Who is holding them hostage? Is it your government? It is.
Another country that you're targeting, which of course is Venezuela. Do you intend on seizing more oil assets from Venezuela and other tankers?
I wouldn't tell you that. I mean, it wouldn't be very smart for me to tell you that. You know, we're supposed to be a little bit secretive. You're a very big time reporter, and I don't think I want to tell a big time reporter or a small time reporter that. But we are knocking out drugs at levels that nobody's ever seen before. We knocked out 96% of the drugs coming in by water. And nobody can figure out who the 4%. I wouldn't want to be the 4% either, but 96% of the drugs coming in by water. Every one of those boats you see get shot down, you just saved 25,000 American lives. But we knocked out 96% of the drugs coming in by water, and now we're starting by land, and by land is a lot easier. And that's going to start happening. And we're not going to have people destroying our youth, destroying our families. Forget about youth, everybody. You ever see a family with the fentanyl or cocaine? Colombia has at least 3 cocaine factories. That's a different country. We're not happy about it, but we're stopping it. And we've stopped it now on water. You don't even find boats on water. You don't even see fishing boats on water. You want to go fishing in that area? Does anybody want to go fishing in that area? I don't think so. So I just want to say this. We have now a strong border. A year and a half ago, we had millions of people pouring through. Now we have nobody coming in through our border. And we have a strong country. We have a country that's respecting it. We're going to keep it that way. And we're not going to let people kill 300,000 people a year with drugs. The country's not going to put up with it.
Mr. President, do you plan to withhold funding? You talked about land strikes happening soon. Is there anything at this point that can prevent that? And is the objective, if you make that decision,
well, I don't want to say that, but it's not only land strikes on Venezuela. It's land strikes on horrible people that are bringing in drugs and killing our people. You know, if we were in a war and we lost 300,000 people in a year, because that's what the real number is. It's not 100. You know, you keep hearing 100. And it's a lot worse than that because the families are devastated when they lose their child. If we were in a war and we lost 2 or 300,000, but I think it's more than 300,000. And that's a war that's like a war that would be unparalleled. Nobody's ever seen anything like that. And that's what's happening. So it doesn't necessarily have to be in Venezuela. It's people that are bringing in drugs to our country are targets.